Hi, I'm John, and talk today a little bit about awakenings, some of the things that we can expect when these happen, what they are, and some things to look out for. So, first thing that we need to do is understand what an awakening is. Why would somebody say, I am awakened? It used to be that simply meant that this was a spiritual type idea, that I am spiritually enlightened, that I am awakened. It has come to mean so much more. Awakenings are any time that we learn truth or understand truth that has purposefully been hidden or obscured or simply lost because it was lied about to us. This can include everything from the current Great Awakening to the political stuff to the more liberal PC culture, the awakening to this new social justice. Or it can be still awakening to spirituality, to God Himself, herself. If somebody finds Jesus, we could say they have awakened to the Spirit. It can also be awakening to a psychic event or a psychic experience. Awakening to the psychic abilities in the world, that they're real and that they exist. It can be another type of awakening if you awaken to other truths that have been literally hidden, obscured, or simply lied about for so long. And all of these awakenings have a few things in common. Every single one. Whether you're awakening to a new psychic ability or you're awakening to a political movement. These truths have a way of changing our reality. How we saw the world, what we experienced anytime we looked at another person, anytime we looked at the news, or anytime we watched a show, what we experienced is now different because we have awakened to a new understanding or a new truth. And we start to see the world differently. Reality itself comes into conflict, or what we thought was reality comes into conflict with what we now know is different than what it was. And this has a deep emotional impact on people. That's one of the biggest things that you will experience. You'll also start questioning many other things. If I was sleeping to this, what else am I sleeping to? What else what is it that I don't know? Well, you can't know what you don't know. These emotional states that we get into when we start getting our reality challenged, they can be anything from deep depressions, anger, or they can be excitement. It can end up being this beautiful, wonderful thing that you just want to share with everybody. And this is where the first danger comes in. Because if you immediately react to this emotional state that you find yourself in because your whole reality just changed, your whole world just changed, and maybe it's exciting and you just want to share it with everybody, well, you are going to challenge their reality. And people will fight for their reality harder than anything else. In fact, there are many people that will fight for their reality even harder than they'll fight for their own children. To them, reality is life, and they will defend it at all costs. So you go and you share this new information or this new insight or you share an experience that you had, and they'll tell you that you're crazy, or they'll tell you that you're just wrong, or they'll tell you that you're being manipulated and controlled, or they'll tell you 1,001 other ways that will dismiss entirely what you are saying to them. This comes with its own, some of these people that we share, we really want them to yeah, okay, and get as just excited as we are, and then they crush us emotionally. They don't mean to do it. It's not intentional most of the time. Sometimes it is, but most of the time it's not. That's the birdie. You can hear him in the background. So that is a major danger. So when you find out this new piece of information, and you awaken to this new truth or this new understanding, one of the very important things that you need to remember is it takes time to adjust. You see, you may have a concept or an idea that is entirely in a contradiction to this new one that you've just learned, that you just awoke to. And it takes a little bit of time to adjust. You don't want to immediately react or immediately respond. You want to give yourself enough time to be able to adjust to this. You want to be able to manage your emotions, deal with them however you need to deal with them. And don't expect other people to see it and understand it. Because if you awoke to it, they may not have. That's just kind of the way it is. And forcing it upon them is, we don't awaken to things until we're ready. And trying to force somebody into that position isn't going to work. Another danger that we run into is this really kind of odd sensation of people dismissing an experience or this knowledge that we just gained. Let's say you find out a piece of knowledge and you waken up to well, let's say you have a dream, premonition, you share this premonition or write it down and it comes true, and you waken up to the fact that it is possible for some people to know the future, or at least a glimpse of it. And this is awakening for you. You start to awaken to psychic gifts and psychic abilities based on this experience. And this odd thing that people will do is entirely dismiss your experience. This is actually a tactic that abusers use to control people. Now, I'm not saying that everybody that tries to dismiss your experience is an abuser. What I am saying is that people do this naturally. Individuals that abuse other people do this intentionally. And dismissing your experience is, no, you're making it up, or you're not remembering it correctly, or no, you're just lying, or no, that's not it. Maybe you've learned some new information and you've got really good sources and everything else, and you try to share this with somebody and they say, no, those are all just lies and propaganda and BS. You can even ask them, well, what's your evidence? Well, so-and-so said is normally their evidence, or I heard somewhere is normally their evidence. And you just did research and you just woke up to some amazing truth that you discovered, and they're dismissing it like it's nothing. Do not let anybody let you question your own experiences. Your experiences are exactly what they are. Even if somebody else had a completely different experience of the same situation, your experience is still exactly what it is. Our judgments may be off about it, our reasoning about it may be off about it, but the experience is the experience, and it will trigger emotions and memories, and it will trigger thoughts. It is what it is. Do not let anybody dismiss your experiences as unreal or untrue, because that, truthfully, is all we are. Also, with awakening, there are people out there, unscrupulous, miserable people, that know the information that you're waking up to and will use that, or that an experience that you're having that triggered an awakening, and they will use that to try to exploit you. This normally happens with people that are young into any type of movement or awakening or anything else. Now, this is different from an individual that you start to waken up and they're like, well, I can help guide you. And they're asking for, a bit of money for sessions, or like a spiritual coach, or like a life coach, or that's kind of the way what it comes down to. They're just basically mentoring and being a teacher, and you're compensating them for their energy and their time. What I'm talking about is actually different, and I'll give you an example that I've seen over and over and over again in the world of psychics and extrasensory, these spiritual realms and this kind of stuff. And this is really, really common. So you go to a psychic, maybe the first time, maybe you kind of believed and you've had some experiences in the past, but you go and you run across a psychic that, oh my God, is dead on, knows everything about you, can pinpoint your problems, can tell you all kinds of stuff. And they will turn around and they will ask you to keep coming back to them without ever offering you any real solutions to what's actually going on. Or they'll offer you a solution, but only just enough that you have to keep coming back to them. They're setting up a relationship like, here's a little bit of information, and if you want to experience this new reality, you have to come see me. I've seen people do the same thing with simple energy healing. I don't want you to go anywhere else. I don't want you to talk to anybody else. You got only come to me, and that is so that they can exploit somebody that's just waking up to this reality. It's a horrible thing that people do, and it's something that as individuals that start to waken up, we need to be cautious of. No matter what it is, whether it's information, whether it's an experience, whether it is spirituality or anything else, no matter what it is, if it is truth, if it is real, then you have access to the same information that somebody gave you that helped you wake up. It's that simple. If somebody is telling you that this prophecy is going to happen, and you need to do this and do that, you have access to that same prophecy that they did. And you have ways to and if you don't, you have ways to find out. Ask. So we really need to be careful of these people that try to exploit us or take advantage of our new awakenings. Another really big one is that somebody will share information that is, they know, the majority of people that hear this, that waking up to this new truth and this new information is going to create fear and a bit of depression, and so they offer you away. And this is sneaky and it's horrible, but they're offering you away to fix that emotion that they know was just caused because you just found out information you didn't have. And they do it immediately. And again, that goes back to let some time pass. There is another very easy way when it comes to these new awakenings, and that is to help deal with these emotions and this changing reality, and that is step away for a little while. It's okay. It was hidden to you before you found out. It's not a big deal to step away for a little bit and act like you never learned it. Don't forget it, don't dismiss it, go back to it, but step away and remember the wonderful things in the world. The love, the joy, all these wonderful, peaceful things. So when it comes to these great awakenings, and it comes to these great spiritual truths, and it comes to these, and we start to learn to do things, or we start to see truth, and we start to get all of this, it is our emotional states. It is what's happening to us, how we feel about it, and how we are experiencing it. It is our emotional states that make us vulnerable, that will cause us damage, and that make it difficult to continue or go even further. So, be patient, give yourself time, step away if you need to. Watch out for the snake oil salesman, because there's plenty of them out there. And remember to enjoy the world around you. It's a beautiful place. It was a beautiful place before, and it still is.